Mr. James Flurry, Shreveport City Councilman. Hey, Mr. James, welcome back to Kiel. How you doing? Been a while. Happy New Year,
Good.
by the way. Thank you.
Well, by the way, Happy New Year to you. Good morning.
Big day today and tomorrow. City Council work session today, regularly scheduled meeting on the morrow, Tuesday, and the Cross Bayou proposal comes up today. What's going to be? Is there debate today? What will happen when you guys get together this afternoon?
Well, what's we're looking at is the memorandum of understanding, and it would just be introduced, and we'll have 2 weeks to debate and discuss. At that time, in 2 weeks, then it could be called for a vote. But today is just introduction, and it is the matter of what they call the memorandum of understanding. What we do, what they do. It's not any kind of binding contract.
Is Mr. Bradford, Willie Bradford, Councilman Bradford, has been the biggest backer, at least on the council, of this GDC, the $1.5 billion, et cetera. What will he say today, and will any Gateway Development Consortium speakers pitch the idea to the council today?
I don't anticipate any of them speaking, but what Mr. Bradford's going to say, and his argument is the fact that we have no cranes or nothing going on in the city, and he's anxious to get some jobs, and he thinks this is the path that will take us to that to make that happen.
Is there anything that could be said today or tomorrow, either by a GDC member, i.e. Mr. English, or anybody on the council that you haven't heard before?
No, there's nothing to be said. It's the fact of the matter. This is a very complex program thing that they've laid out, and there's a lot of discussion that needs to be said. Maybe we ought to consider, we have that $2.8 million left over on the bond issue. Maybe we should look at doing something, a real small version ourselves. What I thought was perhaps maybe, just maybe, that we'd could put in type of walking trail or something on a very small scale. The things, this what they're proposing has got so many unanswered questions and got so many parts to it that don't make sense. I don't understand how you think you can put a state building there when governor has got a legislature that's he don't really readily control, and I don't see how he gets the money to do that. I mean, that part right there is going to be very difficult to move a state building there. No one's interested in moving the courthouse. It's just so many things that we don't have any money. The 88 acres stopped it right there for me. I just don't see how that's going to come about. And if they want to do something and fund the whole thing, that's a whole different program. But right now, we got a lot of questions that we need to go on record to ask as council members.
You're a no vote then tomorrow?
Oh, yes. I'm a no vote until I see something that I'm, Councilwoman Fuller made a suggestion during her questioning of Mr. English last time. Why would we want to let them go and make all this money than when something the city could do? I'm not saying we'd want to do it on this bigger scale, but I'm just saying we might start small and do a little something because I believe the $2.8 million was in the taxpayers, voters said, hey, this is what I want you to spend it on. And I don't see how that can be used in this project.
And there's a lawsuit going to be filed today, challenging the use of that $2.8 million that's left. Because when I voted for this in 96,
that's right,
I voted for you to buy land to develop a park. That's what I was sold. That's what was pitched to me. I'm still waiting for my park 20 plus years later. How does that happen?
Well, I don't think that really came to light until you brought that up, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. I had forgotten about that. I remember that on the ballot and everything, but you're excited. What I understand, not a lawyer, but the declaratory judgment would be ruled by the judge in this lawsuit that's been filed. So, I wondered that too. How did that happen? Where did the 2.2 million go of the 5? You see, I haven't got the answers for that.
Mr. James,
And, we just.
go ahead, finish up, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's got to be answered. Where did the 2.2 went? Go.
If Mr. Willie is going to introduce this today, and there's going to be debate and back and forth, et cetera, I've always assumed all along, and just my own little official in my head council member count, that he didn't have the votes. If he knows he doesn't have the votes, why would he even bring this up for discussion and a vote? Is it possible that he does?
Well, I don't know, Robert, but let me just go back and refresh your memory. You remember when Mayor Tyler brought up about the $40 million on the basketball arena, when it was introduced, and all this time we were operating under the wrong rules. When you introduce something like that, it just has to have a motion and a second, and we were voting on all that stuff. And so that particular time we voted, and Willie Bradford and I voted no. Everybody else voted yes to move it for discussion. But when it come around to vote on it, the public had really spoken to their elected officials, and it was a 6-0, one out of the chamber vote against it. And so a lot of people don't understand a parliamentary procedure, but you should have a debate. I mean, you can, if you don't have a motion and a second, it dies right then. But in all fairness, to make open, transparent, I think sometimes you do better if you go ahead and have the debate, then have the vote. And so I think that's what Councilman Bradford's wanted. That he just wants a fair hearing on it, and it voted up or down.
Mr. James, speaking of, pardon me, last one. Speaking of the public, what is your sense of your constituents in your district on this?
Oh my God, Robert, it's been overwhelming. No, I have not had any. I think I had one, but I've been flooded with text messages and emails. But no, they just not willing to do it.